Reddit, what's your most I'm with the boomers on this opinion? Touchscreens in cars are a fundamentally bad idea. Physical buttons or similar controls need to be brought back. Distracted driving is at an all-time high. Touchscreen controls literally require you to take your eyes off the road and can create a longer time of inattention due to their complexity. I have an old ass car with physical control. I can do dang near anything, radio, climate control, etc., without taking my eyes off the road and in much less time. I want a human customer service operator, not an automated operator or chatbot. I don't need a subscription for everything. No, you don't need my phone number or email. Just let me buy my shirt and get the fuck out of the store. Radio Shack was doing that before it was cool. They wanted my name, address, and phone number to buy a soldering iron in the 90s. Also, they're out of business. I simply reply, no thanks. Certain things shouldn't require you to download an app and/or create a whole account, including ordering food in a restaurant, paying for parking, buying something online, sending a parcel. I'll throw in buying concert tickets. Thanks, Ticketbastard, especially since they got rid of tickets entirely and you get in by scanning a code on your phone. I have a huge collection of ticket stubs that all bring back various memories of concerts, but the most recent one I went to has absolutely nothing physical to remind me of the experience. The hell I'm paying $50 for a t-shirt or $200 for a poster. Eve charging networks are extra infuriating. Not only do you need their app, but you can't just connect your credit card to the app and let it charge you the amount of money you should be charged. First, you need to choose from subscription options, which you should be declining because it's dramatically cheaper and more convenient to charge at home. Then, when you choose the pay-as-you-go option, you and just link your credit card. Instead, it fills an account with money and will automatically fill that account with money when the account is running low. So you are spending extra money for no particular reason. Physical media. Owning books, movies, and music is far superior to a subscription service or digital content. Music in bars is too loud. Edit to add that I've been a touring musician and live sound technician. I love music, but it actually sounds better at lower volumes, and I want to be able to hear it into my old age. I want to find just one bar where I can talk to my friends without screaming. And shops. I've left clothes shops because the music is irritatingly loud and I can't talk to my partner. Weddings, parties, stores, just about everywhere. If we're going to a concert, then crank it. If the music is to enhance the experience, and instead it's just drowning it in noise pollution, then there's a failure in execution. Screw fast fashion. My clothes should be made to last. I'm not rich, so it's unavoidable, but I'm willing to spend extra on clothes that aren't made of plastic, and I do my best to repair my damaged clothing instead of throwing it out. There's a documentary on the company Shine. I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it, but it's about the working conditions of the people that make those clothes, and it's horrific. Also, the environmental impact from fast fashion is so much higher than anyone would think. I want to buy a pair of jeans that will last more than 2 years. Levi's have not been lasting more than a year for me lately. TV is getting too dark. Not emotionally. It is visually too dark and I can't see it. Not emotionally. It is visually too dark and I can't see it, and it's way too quiet until it's suddenly way too loud. Too dark and too quiet. I swear we have to turn the volume up like twice as loud as we have it normally to watch Yellowstone. Better believe the commercials have plenty of volume though. There is an old acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Just because you can make something super flashy, complicated, intriguing, or otherwise impressive doesn't mean you should. This goes from everything from cars to computer software to movies and film. Trying too hard to make something impressive only leaves you with something that may look pretty but doesn't have proper support. Not everything needs to connect to the internet or have an app attached to it. I just want my fridge to keep shit cold. I don't understand why we have to bring Wi-Fi into this situation. My fucking toothbrush has an app. Why? Why? I literally just talked a friend out of getting a smart automatic litter box with an app and shit. The price difference was $300 more than just a regular automatic scooping box, and you get notifications that your cat just took a shit. Data collection, targeted ads. I'd genuinely ask people to go offline as much as possible with devices. Not everything needs to be recorded. You really don't need an Alexa. Sometimes it's faster and easier to just plug something in instead of dealing with Bluetooth connectivity. There's something nice about knowing how to get it connected and being able to physically connect and being able to physically connect. The same applies to networking. Wi-Fi is not a panacea, and it's very much worth your while doing some cabled networking if you actually value your networked experiences. To add to this, some cars won't let you manually select the input device from the stored beta devices if you get going faster than 5 MFi and don't drop back down to a full stop. And in a number of cars, these systems have issues automatically selecting the right device if multiple devices are stored as connections. Also, the audio quality is usually better when using wires, and there's no annoying weirdness of the car's bats supporting one set of codecs and one device or supporting another set that only overlaps the car's set with the worst possible codec of the group. I would blow someone for next cheap iPhone to have a headphone jack again. Sick to death of getting on the metro and finding out my headphones are near dead. One of my hobbies is computer gaming, and I am not a fan of how everything needs to be wireless. Keyboards, mice, headsets, speakers. I like the simplicity, and I don't like having to charge things. You can make cables look clean if you need to. Basic home appliances, fridge, washer, dryer, etc. do not need a touch screen. I just moved into a new place. The microwave has Wi-Fi compatibility. I don't know what it's for or for to use it, but it's an option. I hate my oven so much. It's a Air Fancy Pants dual oven, stainless steel with a color touchscreen. When I open the door, steam comes out and covers the touchscreen. Sometimes it's just that I can't use the touchscreen. Sometimes it's just that I can't use the touchscreen off. Other times the whole oven shuts down, claiming there's some kind of internal fault. It thinks multiple areas of the touchscreen are shorted together, which I guess they kinda are. And the one time I used the self-cleaning feature, it cooked the internal electronics, and I had to have the entire board replaced. Then there's the fact that everything you do with the touchscreen has animations, so it takes me 30 to 40 seconds just to turn the oven on and set the temperature. It's like stop adding touchscreens and just give me a functioning ice maker lol. Electronic devices should be repairable. All of them. TVs and smartphones should last for at least 10 years. How is that we are all environmental friendly, but we switch iPhones every 2 or 3 years? Touchscreen cars are not a good idea. I wish car companies would take a page out of the avionics design book. Put the essential and highly used functions on a physical button or slider with physical detents and secondary functions on a touchscreen. Lights, wipers, climate controls, stereo controls, and gear selection needs buttons, knobs, and levers for eyes. Free operation. All other settings and functions can go to the touchscreen without a white or blue background. Fucking sucks trying to fuck around with settings to change the background to black so the 32 goddamn TV and dash will stop blinding me at night. Yep. Many things which basically all trace back to sundry get off your fucking phone situation. Tipping has gotten out of control, coming from someone who relies on tips for income. It hurts people who actually should be getting them, because now people are extremely agitated about any and all tipping. I was just at a music festival, and the guy who exchanges your cash for drink tickets, not even the person who pours the beverage, had an iPad with tip options, starting at 18. Happened a couple more times after that, but not enough to really be annoyed. Once we switched to the god, this is so irritating. I went to a shop yesterday where I literally walked into the store, pointed to the item I wanted behind the counter. Girl from behind the counter put it in a small paper bag and handed it to me, and when I swiped my card it said enter tip amount. I'm sorry, but what am I tipping for? I stared at the screen for like 5 seconds looking for the no tip option, and there wasn't one. It felt good doing this, but I looked up at her and said I don't want to leave a tip.
How do I indicate that on the machine?
She said press the red X. I mean, come on. An item was behind the counter. She grabbed it, put it in a bag and handed it to me. What the fuck am I tipping for? Fuck! I left feeling irritated. I'm always confused by the option to tip at the self-serve frozen yogurt place. But I'm also suspicious that it won't even go to the cashier. It'll just go to the owner because it's from my debit card. I went to a bar recently and the bouncer had an iPad with tip options for the entry fee. Tipping should be reserved for products, experiences that require service or process like waitstaff, baristas, bartenders, etc. When we were young, they wanted a tip for everything. The guy at the merch tent who didn't even stop his conversation with another employee to hand me 2 t-shirts from next to him, literally didn't have to take 3 steps, asked if I'd like to leave a 25 tip. I refused to tip at counter. Serve places occur. Fast food restaurants where you order and get your food and they don't give you any service. The major fast food chains won't ask for a tip, but I've seen more and more small food places with a default tip screen for what's essentially takeout. The last one I went to had it automatically put 18, and I only had the option to go up from there unless I hit custom amount. No tip. Seriously, fuck off. The guy typed my order into a tablet for 2 seconds. If you're walking on a crowded sidewalk, get off your fucking phone. It's not the job of other pedestrians to avoid you while you make your vlog. Awareness of your surroundings is important. Also respect the norms. Seeing people filming their dance, moves in a cemetery and in front of the Vietnam Memorial Wall, holding up traveler spots because they have to shoot pics from 100s of angle. I've seen people stand in the middle of a stairway, blocking people going up and down the stairs just to do something on their phone. The lack of awareness of people around them is horrible. You know what's funny? I had few experiences of people walking in groups, or simply just one person walking right through the middle of the sidewalk, and they would just stare me in the eye expecting me to get out of the way. I don't have where to fucking go, you fucking assholes. To the right, cars going over the speed limit. On the left, a wall. Give me back my headphone jack. We changed to USB-C for higher quality audio, so you made the output frequency higher.
Oh, did you also make it send digital audio so it decodes in the dedicated DAC on the audio device?
Nah, it still sends the exact same 44.1 keys analog output. But we added a useless bass booster and got a commission to add a Dolby surround effect. When you're in a public place, you should respect others around you, but not being disruptive with your behavior. For example, not playing music on your phone without headphones while on a bus, in a restaurant, etc. Wear headphones, you disruptive fucks. Or those emphas who walk around having loud ass phone conversations on speaker in stores. Makes me want to slap that shit out of their hands. I'm not downloading a fucking app to use your menu. And I don't need a goddamned app for every website, shop or restaurant I visit. Please just put your menu and hours on a normal website and stop trying to clog up my phone. Edited. And have a real website, not a Facebook page or Instagram account. Those might be good in addition to your website, but if the only way I can place an order is through your Instadems, just fucking forget it. This, but for everything. 75s of apps should just be a standard responsive website. It would load faster, be usable across more devices, less work for the dev teams to maintain a presence on all the app stores and update. I really think most of the time and effort put into apps is to make them sticky and just more present on users' devices at the cost of just about everything else. I work at a restaurant as a host and recently failed our secret shopper because I asked how many menus. Instead of, would you like menus or the core code on the table? Most of the time when I do remember to ask, people just look at me confused and say 3. It's great. Edit to add, we don't have the feature where you can order through the core code. Just the menu. Secret shoppers are lame, and when I initially failed, I didn't know we were supposed to ask this, so I didn't get written up or anything. Our menus are at the front, and it's the host's job to get the right amount before bringing the guests to the table, which is why we ask how many are needed. This isn't necessarily the way all restaurants work, but this is what I was trained to do. I'm hoping to be promoted to server soon. They told me before the year ends, and if they don't by January, I will quit. I'm not giving you my personal data, and I'm not subscribing to your newsletter to read your menu. I've got quite a few, but my biggest one is, products aren't made to last anymore. Planned obsolescence has to stop. Here's where I differ from boomers. Not only is it bad for the environment, it's shitty justification for making terrible product. I am constantly complaining about planned obsolescence. It's even happening to medical equipment. It's getting out of control. Standard headlights on new automobiles are too bright, literally being blinded by every other car during the daytime wondering if their brights are what. I have light sensitivity issues, and this is a serious problem for me. Driving at night causes some pain if I'm lucky, and a migraine if I'm not. Fun fact, depending on where you live, there are certain restrictions on headlights, e.g. how bright high they are, but no one enforces it. I legit thought there was something wrong with me for thinking this. I really thought I was the only one. Thank you for confirming I'm not low. I no longer feel crazy. I prefer reading on paper, not on screen. Coca-Cola tastes better out of glass bottles than plastic bottles. I work with software security, and the more I learn in this field, the more it makes me allergic to smart home devices. I'm convinced they are for people who don't know how they work, which is what they are banking on. And these devices are most certainly not smart. Along the same line for home appliances, if it needs an app to operate, it's a shitty device, and you're making a mistake. I considered getting into software security, and a common theme I found was if security were an afterthought, that would be a huge improvement. Hey Wiretap, what's a good recipe for pancakes? I'm a cybersecurity expert at a large ISP in London. That doesn't really matter much to the story, but we implemented Gator a few years ago, so personal information gathering is a big thing in my field. There was a cheap Chinese smart vacuum. They did a GET request a few years ago, and the thing was gathering pages and pages of data on Western apartments and sending it to China. They were gathering info on dimensions of people's flats, apartments, to create Western living in China. Data harvesting is real. Physical keyboards are better than virtual keyboards, and physical knobs and buttons are better than touchscreens, especially with cars, atoms, etc. I like physically owning the movies you love. I have friends who love the movie and watch it on Netflix whenever they can, and then Netflix removes it, and then Netflix removes it, and if it's a rare find, then you might never see it again. Owning a physical copy means you get to keep it and cherish it forever, and if you're on a plane where the movie options can sometimes be garbage, a handheld Blu-ray player is your answer. Also, I love the artwork of Blu-ray covers. Another reason to have a physical copy. Things aren't made like they used to be. Everything you buy now is so cheaply manufactured. Even high-end furniture uses cheap particle board and crappy joinery. We bought a pretty high-end couch a few years back, and it's barely holding together. Edit. Thanks everyone for commenting, and thank you for the award. I've been on Reddit since 2008, and I've never had a comment get this much action. I miss appliances you could fix just by hitting it a few times. High-end furniture uses cheap particle board and crappy joinery. I love this example at work. Most of our clients are. 1F, our last house had $400 worth of furniture. The table was 111-ed 3/4 and 111 thick, but all the boards were laminated 3/4 and 1/2 boards, not to mention it came pre-war. Guess the planner ride overseas took its toll. The legs were this cylinder made of wood with gappy joints. When I knocked, it was hollow. Crazy to think this is a structural piece. On my time off, I make furniture that's more traditional. It's frustrating to know how much that table must have cost, but I'll die struggling to sell furniture that'll last longer than me. I'd rather interact with the real person instead of dealing with automated phone voices or customer service bots on websites. I just recently used a popular medical app to get a prescription. I had an issue and called their customer service number, and a real person answered on the second ring. I didn't even know what to say. I hadn't thought it through because I thought it would be all automated. They fixed my issue and answered a couple questions in under 2 minutes. I could not believe it. Edit, it's him. Most features in cars should have buttons. Want to turn on your heated seat button, not scroll through 3 screens. Crazy that they ban the use of cell phones, but allow the permanent installment of whole ass tablet. This is just bad. Screens require us to take our eyes off the road. A recipe for disaster. Buttons and dials. Only need one hand. Eyes on the road. Eyes on the road. I miss car radios with buttons and dial. Oh, car shopping right now, and I hate all of these infotainment screens. Give me a backup camera, power windows, and Bluetooth connectivity. That's it. Leave the other B's off and take $8 off Miss Up, thank you. Social media is poison, he says on Reddit. A lot of products were made better in the past. Pyrex is a prime example, but there's thousands more. Planned obsolescence, as a consequence of prioritizing quarterly profits over customer satisfaction, is another nail in the coffin of this current version of the economy we live in. Craftsman tools used to be something you could hand down. It's not the case anymore. Social media is pretty toxic. It's amazing how much better my mental health got after deleting Facebook, although ironically it seems boomers have made the switch to being all over feed, Twitter, etc. Also, as someone else posted, you really don't need to publicly post every second of your life. I've gotten to the point of mildly cringing on the occasions I pull out Snapchat and see someone posting 15, 20 photos of a single night. Get off my lawn.